All right, Conrad Black no longer has a criminal record in the United States. Convictions of wire fraud and obstruction of justice have been pardoned by President Donald Trump as a, quote, bad rap against the British Lord. Conrad Black joins us from Toronto. Conrad, take us back to that phone call from President Trump. Did you have any clue that was coming?
I had a clue that it was, Don, yes, but it was still a surprise when it came. And at first, I thought it was probably a trick by the London Daily Mail or something, you know, or Private Eye, a prank. But then when he came on, it certainly sounded like him. So unless it was Rich Little, it was him. And then he said some things that made it clear that it was certainly him.
I was surprised you hadn't talked to him since he became president. I mean, you always seem to be close to him, are you not?
Well, you're friendly, but not close. I mean, in the normal course, when I was a neighbor of his in New York and Palm Beach, I would speak to him more often, but he wasn't the president then. I would never presume to phone a president of the United States, and I get messages from him sometimes from his office, you know, but I never represented myself as an intimate of his, but we did work closely together on one project about 20 years ago. Right.
Well, I was saying this last night to Lisa LaFlemme that you did put a request on my behalf for an interview with Mr. Trump, and I got a call back about an hour later from Hope Hicks. So it wasn't. You did have some connections into the Trump empire. I guess my question here...
Oh, yeah, no, look, yeah. When we were neighbors, we often had dinner with them, but you know, time has gone by, and he's an extremely busy man, obviously.
Yeah. Beyond a sense of vindication for you personally, what does this pardon mean at this stage, given you finished your sentence 7 years ago? I mean, what's it do for you?
Well, the fact that the White House counsel and legal office looked at it carefully. There were representations on my behalf from Alan Dershowitz and other prominent lawyers on you know, technical legal grounds, and they examined it carefully, and they concluded that I should never have been charged, and it was an unjust verdict that those two counts were retrieved after they'd been vacated by the Supreme Court. So it's a clear statement of objective legal experts at the highest point of authority in the United States that it was, as the president said, a bad rap and an unjust verdict. So that, obviously, that's very gratifying. That's what I said about it, except it's more polite than most of the descriptions that I applied to it.
Does this mean you can return to the U.S., or was that never a problem?
That wasn't a problem. I could always have returned, and the court said I would always be welcome and could cite the trial judge as a reference if I wished, but I had to apply, and because of the extremely shabby treatment I got from their legal system, I did not feel moved to apply for the great privilege of entering a country where I'd been persecuted, but I don't have to do that now. The White House phoned again this morning and said that they're couriering an instrument of pardon signed by the president, including a miniature version of it, and I am free to come and go in that country as I wish.
Oh, good. I'm interested, though. I mean, it's no secret you have been a fairly outspoken admirer of the Trump presidency. Really, you don't see a connection between your support for the president and this pardon?
No, I will say this. This is rank speculation and hypothesis, but if I was one of those critics, many of whom are known to you, who slagged him off regularly and said he was an incompetent and represented that he might have been an asset of the Kremlin and things like that, I wouldn't have counted on the virtues of my legal case being the only criterion for whatever opinion he might form. I would accept that. But he was at pains to say himself that I should say, and he would say, that the motive was a legal one. He was grateful for my support at times, and of course, as he said, we've known each other a long time, and very cordially always. But there's a point where friendship and journalistic comment leave off and the law takes over. And he said, this is happening for legal reasons. And for personal reasons, I'm glad it's happening, but it's happening for legal reasons.
Well,
that's what he said.
I suspect there's a lot of injustice in the United States by Republicans who are hoping they get a pardon. You're not even an American citizen. You're a British subject, and you get a pardon. There must be more to it than just a rank injustice, as you point out.
No, it was a rank injustice, but I had certainly eminent sponsorship. I don't think citizenship has anything to do with it, Don. I mean, all sorts of foreigners are tangled up in that awful system in the United States. When I was a guest of the American people, there were a good many people of other nationalities in the same places that I was.
Okay.
Including several Canadians.
Just a last point. Now that you have this pardon,
the United States don't give, their system doesn't give anybody a free ride if they're a foreigner. They don't care about that.
Yeah. Does this pardon allow you to reinvigorate your business, any business interests in the States at all? Is that something you've been planning at all?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the United States, yeah, I don't think that I would go too far in that country. I found the dangers of doing business down there such that my sense of adventure is declining as I get older. So I don't think I'll be very active there in a business way, but I am elsewhere. I'm rebuilding my fortunes. That's my chief occupation these days.
Okay.
And everything's going, not that you've asked, but everything's going well, thanks.
Okay, I'm glad things are going well for you, Conrad Black. Appreciate you taking the time to join us. Thank you.
Okay, always nice talking with you, Don.
Thank you.